So they're going to be doing their thing till at least 9:30. And so that's what's happening. That's what's going on. Get this back to the yard. So having this trailer, instead of doing 3 trips to the sugar mill per 100,000, we only have to do 2. So the harvester is stationary for a much less time. It still has to be stationary because I do not have enough vehicles to create a convoy and just have one on station while I'm emptying the other one. Even then, I probably need 3 tractors on this. Because we can drive down to the sugar mill with this, start it unloading, unload the harvester with a second one. But then I'm going to be wanting to bring that one to the sugar mill while this one's heading back, or I'm just going to end up with 2 tractors at the sugar mill and nobody back on the farm. So that brings up, I'd need 3, and I think probably need 4, but anyway, it's just not an easy thing to take care of, I don't think. Okay, where is the harvester? In front of us. That's convenient. Let's stay outside there. I'm not sure if he's going to drive once we start unloading. Oh, he is. Alrighty then. Oh, he couldn't start driving until he started unloading, so that's a thing. Emptying the main harvester on the move isn't actually that difficult because we have such a long pipeline. The headers are so narrow in comparison. I mean, they're big headers, but still, in comparison, they're very narrow. So it's not a thing that we need to worry about. So everybody's still doing their things. Turn around in this field because it's convenient. I suppose it just occurred to me I could chop down those trees and put the greenhouses there. That would make the greenhouses they're in the sunlight because, we're looking south. That's where the sun is all the time. And that's usually a good thing for greenhouses. Anyway, we need to buy the dairy. I think so. If we'll get through to November 1. I don't think those bales are going to be ready to sell on November 1. I think they're probably close to the November 2 or 3. I think 2. So we might not have much to do tomorrow game day except do more sugar beets. I think I'm going to declare that come... Oh, good morning, Fid Murphy. Welcome back. come on, you can get in there. Horribly large equipment. This is really bad equipment for UK. But good morning and welcome to Glenleathann. How's your day going? We're still looking at snow here. Well, snow on the ground. It's a clear sunny day, which means maybe some of the snow will melt, but the temperatures are awful. It's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think we are due another snowstorm on Wednesday lunchtime, afternoonish sort of time. And that's been mooted by the sort of the long range forecasters, and it's firming up. And we'll probably get a lousy snowstorm next weekend, which means we'll be stuck in the house again, in all likelihood. So, lots of snow, which is all sorts of fun. And pissed off teenage Osa because she doesn't get snow days because schooling is at home, so you don't have to travel, you don't get a snow day. So what else do I want to do? Let's bounce around the other tractors, see what's going on. So this is probably struggling now because we're on the steep bit of the field, but again, good work width, and I guess we're dealing with the things, the weeds. That's doing its harvesting, and this is cultivating this field. So again, those have got about 25 minutes to run. So I got nothing better to do but to drive around in a large class tractor. I'm doing okay. I think I mentioned just as you were getting here, I had a meeting at work. We have a every other month meeting, and so you have to drive in and they feed you. Unfortunately, the food this time was generally stuff I'm not really a fan of, so didn't have a lot to eat. But and he also, it was snowing on the Thursday, so I had to drive through the snow. A lot of the distance people who work at our office were told they could go to the meeting virtually because we didn't want them driving in. But that was more to the west of us because the snow is coming from sort of Chicago than Detroit. Actually, it's probably coming from Canada, but it comes down through Chicago, so it's a thing. Oh, we also got new cell phones, wifey and I. My cell phone has now decided it really doesn't want to run the apps I need it to run. I work, I need to have a cell phone. My cell phone was just, this app, it's just been updated, doesn't work with OS 10. Well, OS 10's about 5 years old, so we then got to the point of, okay, I need a new phone, wifey needs a new phone, we need to go shopping for a phone. And so we went to the mobile carrier who we have our phones with. Am I going the right way? Well, yes I am, because it's still going around the field. We went to the mobile carrier that we're with, and need to put in your PIN. We don't have a PIN. Why don't you have a PIN? Well, because we're not actually, our service wasn't with you when we bought the phones originally. It was with somebody else, and your company went and bought our provider. So now we're part of your customer base. This is confusing. I'm going to send you to another store where my manager works. So, okay, fine. Because we got about 5 stores in town. So, went to see his manager. And his manager looked us up and said, oh, you're not actually on the retail service, so we can't deal with you. Because our cell phone provider had been bought out, we were told initially you get to keep your service plan that you currently have for about 6 months, and then we'll look at moving you over. Well, after 6 months, they then decided, actually, you can stay on your service plan. So we're like, oh, okay then. But that now means we can't deal with their retail outlets for anything. We have to go through corporate because it's a special exception plan, not something that the stores can sell to anybody. So they couldn't even sell us a phone. Okay, fine. But at least the manager was a little bit helpful, and he said, well, you can buy our phones from Walmart. So he got one of his demo phones out and took my SIM card out, stick it in his demo phone, and it works. Okay, fine. Just go down to Walmart, buy a new phone there, and just swap the SIM card over yourself, and it should all be fine. So that's what we did. We went to Walmart and we bought 2 new phones. And funnily enough, the 2 new phones that we bought were exactly the same as the phones in the cell phone provider's store, except for the fact they were $50 cheaper for twice as much storage. Yeah, you can say anything. So we ended up getting 2 new phones, which are they were manufactured in December this year, or released in December this year. They've got the latest operating system on. They run all the apps I need to run so I can, my work can contact me, and we're all good for probably 5 years until it won't upgrade to the latest operating system and the app stopped running. But the problem was it was running up until January, but then a bunch of the apps were updated. We've got a new version of the app, and the apps just started saying, hey, I'm not working with your phone anymore. You can't hear me properly. How about... if I stop on the hill, yeah, that's a good plan. That's volume. Oh, I've got a lot of cabling in the back. Okay, is that any better? Or do I need to turn up? Let me jump over there a minute. So, that's game sound. No, I've got the mic sound on full. I've got the mic up full. I might need to move the mic closer to my face. And now I need to reset that window. That's good. And back into the game, so we should be able to hit the tractor moving now. And turn that off. So I don't. That's volume. I don't know if that changes anything, or if there's the button on the back. Let's mess with the button on the back. Nobody's messing with that. That's the button, and that's me dropping the microphone on the keyboard. Good job. Back. Okay, let's try that. Is that any better? Or is it that the game sounds too high? I can always turn down the game sound. Other than that, I'm probably going to have to seriously mess with where the microphone... Oh, I've got a little bit of give Trying to pull the microphone cable without disconnecting anything because it's wrapped around something back there. Okay, that's good. Okay, so microphone's repositioned. The gain is turned up. The switch is on, is good, and we are stalled on a hill. But yeah, so 2 new phones. So our phones have been spending the evening recharging, reinstalling everything, which on mine took a good couple of hours. Transferring everything from the old phones, hiding the old phones in the what's it called, in the safe, so that teenagers can't get at them and use them to contact people she's not supposed to be contacting. All sorts of good fun, but anyway, that's all done. This weekend we now have the boy and his sister have come to visit us. She's only coming occasionally, but her mum said you have to go and visit Osa and Mrs. Osa at least once a month. So she picked today to be her once a month day. And she's turning into your classic teenager. Her mum lets her have a cell phone, so she's on the cell phone all day. She's not even a teenager yet, but she comes here, disappears into her room, and you kind of. She likes visiting with us. She misses her brother when he's here, but she doesn't spend any time with us. She just spends all the time on her phone in her bedroom. If Mrs. Osa tells her she needs to come out of her bedroom, she'll come out of her bedroom and play on her phone on the sofa. So it's a thing. Okay, Sugar Beet Harvester is at 95%, but it's not filling up to 100 for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. And it should be back at the bottom where we don't have to go quite so far to unload it. Now, I think for this afternoon, if I don't have to make up any work on the farm here, I might go down to the basement and spend some time attaching bits of wood to other bits of wood so I can get the model railroad up and running. I've made a lot more headway since this year began. But there's stuff I need to do, and I need to keep at it. Where is the harvester? Dang, must be all the way up at the top. So, has it started cutting in already? Have I played new upgraded version of Farming Simulator? I've done a little bit on Farming Simulator 25. It's not that. It's more a case of having time to do all the things I would like to do. So yes, I've put in a few hours, but not a significant number. The only thing I've really done with it is to keep an eye on the mods that are coming in and downloading the ones that interest me. So like I said, the Class Axiom 800 has now been released. I think it's a Giants one. So that's a tractor I may use. And then there's a couple of buildings, sheds, storage, that sort of thing. Haven't been going overboard with the productions. I think generally what my consideration is as far as productions is concerned, I'll see what we're doing with the farm when I decide what farm we're going to be playing on and what the goals are. And then we'll go from there as to whether I want to download any productions or any extra sheds and storages. Equipment I've been very light on. Generally I've pulled the Giants equipment because it's equipment we have available in 22. I kind of like access to it in 25. And then the maps, and taking a look at the maps. So obviously we now have Calmsden, we have the Michigan map. Can't remember what it's called. And then there's another American map as well. So we're starting to get maps now, so it's starting to interest me as to where we're going. My job's going fine. It's getting a little bit hectic. The problem I have a lot of the time is we are moving away from the mainframe, although we're still probably going to store all our data on the mainframe because it's the easiest place to store files, back them up from one location. It's got a over 99% availability. They almost never go wrong, and even if ours does, we've got another one that runs as a hot backup. But it will be removing all of our data processing off of that and going into more browser-based interfaces and functionality. So we've got a team that's rewriting all of our applications from the mainframe onto browser technology. I don't mind that. I've been saying we need this because our business needs so much information on the screen, and with a 24x80 screen, I can't fit all the things on, and they come every couple of months. Oh, we need some extra stuff on the screen. There's no space. I can't fit more things on the screen. With a PC, you can scroll it left, right, up, down. Not quite forward and backwards, but yeah. That's as may be. So that, it's getting to the point where I'm probably retiring in 6 years, maybe a few more, maybe a few less, depends what happens. But I'm kind of looking at, in about 6 years' time, I won't have much of a job left to do. Aside from advising people on how the business has been doing things for the last 20 years, and the PC team don't seem to be very interested in learning that. My colleague retired. My colleague last day is on Thursday this coming week, and so we had a cake and get together after our meeting on Thursday. So, and he's the guy I work with all the time, so I'm going to have to be carrying him for it. But New Year was okay. I don't do New Year's. New Year's is I play some games, I go to bed. Generally don't party. I can't remember if we had a lot of snow, but I get to 9, 10 o'clock and I'm sleepy, and I'm not staying up till midnight. No, I'm a computer programmer. Have been forever. That's the wrong button. Let's do that one. Yeah, no, I became a computer programmer in the early 90s. I got the job. I was generally qualified, but I got the job because I had retail experience and retail managerial experience. And the company that employed me, they weren't looking to pay going rates for programmers. And so they were looking for people who they could train as programmers, who had an aptitude for computer programming, but had experience in the retail trade, because they were a retail operation. So they were more interested in finding people who knew how retail worked and warehousing worked, and they didn't want to pay much. Well, they ended up, I think there were 3 of us, and we were trainees. We were learning how to do things. The project leaders had been mainframe programmers who transferred to a new mainframe system. So they didn't know the new language, but they did know what a computer could do, and they did not, they brought the experience of what the corporation knows how to do. But the company, they were getting a lot of advice from the senior guys that, look, we need some experienced programmers to do this. Because while we can do it with trainees, we need, there's trainees are only so good. It takes a while to get them up to speed. So they went out onto the market to look for some experienced programmers, and they discovered they couldn't get programmers for any less than 50% more than they were paying their project leaders for. So my friend, who was my project leader, he got double his salary overnight, and they brought in a couple of new programmers. The Discord. I don't have a Discord. So that's, well, I guess you can